The history of hip hop from JJ.
The history of hip hop with JJ.
The history of hip hop with JJ. Baby, can I have an ice lolly?
Your kind of music, all day, all night, right on your one and only station, Black Culture Radio.
And talking about underground artists breaking through, doing good stuff, I have on the line Scoob Rock is in the house. How you doing, sir?
I'm fine. Thanks for the love.
No problem, man. Like I said, same with me. Thank you for all the love you show for my posts on social media, man. It is appreciated. So let's start off with how was your 2023? How did that go for you?
It was a good year. I released two albums actually, one solo and then I have one with my friend called Lifeline. So we are like a rap duo. And yeah, so I've just, as I have my own studio and stuff, so I just keep making music all the time. So it's just, I had like a certain time, like around 2000, between 2010 and 15, I had a kind of a break, kind of like, because I was so confused with like streaming platforms. You couldn't sell like records no more. And I was like kind of not into it. But then I just, after time went, I just like, I have to, or else I will not do any more music no more. So I just decided to just, okay, let me just do it. So
yeah,
cool. So basically, I'm trying to put out as much music as I can.
Yeah, so that's cool, man. So yeah, you reside now in Sweden. But you're originally from Dominica, and I said to you before, I'm half Dominican, so I feel you on that. So tell me about your journey. Was there any pit stops in between, or has it just been Dominica and Sweden?
No. We at a certain time we were supposed to move to the UK because my mother's family and everybody's there. But then we came back to Sweden, and then we moved to the Netherlands for a year or something. And then, but at the end of the day, then we ended up in Sweden again. So that's how it has been. And then I traveled, like have my sister in the States, and through music I've been to Germany, I've been to New York performing. But you know, music business is a hard thing. There's so many acts and so much can I say, hip hop is taking a turn from being an original thing. Before, like when I was youth, then you had like Das Effects, you had Onyx, you understand, De La Soul, Tribe. You could really hear like a extinct sound of each and every one of them. But now it's so hard, you know, everybody want to sound like each other, and I mean it's quite different, and all this with content, and it's a lot of work. Like you always have to put out content to be relevant. There's so many artists coming out. It's not easy sometimes.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I have it as hard as you do, but trying to keep the show relevant, and especially the fact that I like to profile more underground artists, it's very hard because I think, you know, I know what you mean about having to keep plugging away and keep, you know, creating content to go out.
Yeah,
man. So, do you feel that? Because I know you were saying that you went back to Dominica for a few years, and then came back. In the way that you, you know, sort of propagate your art, the way you make music and stuff like that, do you feel that the Dominican influence is there, or the Swedish influence is there, or do you feel like that all just amalgamates into you for a sort of unique perspective?
Yeah, I think a lot of, I wouldn't say like a Dominican thing. I just think this whole Caribbean vibe, you know, with dancehall and soca and all these things, is in my music very heavy, because my second love is, besides hip hop, is reggae, dancehall. So that's what I love, and I just love the mix. So if I have a lot of like influences from there.
Mhm.
And the Swedish thing is well more because most of the people that rap in Sweden nowadays, like before it was in English, because in Sweden English is like everybody can speak it. It's like a second language.
Yeah.
You learn it in school, and but nowadays the younger ones is more in Swedish. I
Mhm.
mean, so the English speaking artists are not so many like before. Before
Oh,
it was more heavy. Hip hop in Sweden was more heavy in English, but now it's more Swedish thing. So
okay.
I'm kind of separated from it, even though I can do it in Swedish sometimes with featuring on other people's tracks and stuff. So it's okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
was there ever, when you first started thinking about getting into music, did you ever think about going the dancehall route, or was it always going to be hip hop?
Uh, I've thought about it many times, like
Mhm.
just to do some, but it's I mean, dancehall is nice, but it have some limitations. You understand? Don't get me wrong. It's a nice music, but it's more for partying, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not like you can get serious with it
Hmm.
in that way.
Yeah.
Then it's more a reggae thing you have to get into, but you can also mix the both.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So thoughts have been in my mind, but I'm like, nah, this is my lane. Let me just do what I know best. And
Yeah.
to mix them a little bit is what I can master in a good way. So
All right then.
yeah.
Let's get into the way you actually create your music. Do you have a certain way in which you work? I mean, do you have um, a rhyme book, and when you hear a track, you think, I've got something that fits that track? Or do you just produce the music and then think, I know what I'm going to write to this track? Do you understand what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah,
the track, or is it the track and then the lyrics?
it's both. Like some usually it's when I'm going somewhere, when I'm about. I can just have my phone, write down two lines, then jump in the car, go on my way, get two more lines, and then I hear a beat and I'm like, oh, maybe this fits to that. And then I maybe not even finished the verse. I just started, maybe had 8 bars. And then from there, I start like, I hear the beat. Okay, I'm going to rhyme to this beat. And then I just continue. And then the song comes from there. Or it can also be someone send me a beat and I'm like, oh shit. And then I start writing.
Mhm.
So it's both ways, but mostly it's just in the air. Like if I hear something, if I see something, if I get inspired, I just write it down and keep it like somewhere there. So somebody can send me a beat doesn't mean I will use exactly those lyrics because I might feel that they don't fit to that beat. So eventually they get used. You understand what I mean? But
Yeah.
I can say I'm constantly writing, like each and every day. Like, and it's not like I'm doing. It's maybe 2, 3 bars. Then I continue my arm on my way home. 2, 3 more bars that way. So yeah.
Okay. All right, cool, man. Yeah, you make a lot of music with Lifeline. How
Yeah.
did you meet him, and how did you guys start working together?
We made a track called "It's." And he featured on that track, and we start talking on Instagram, and you know what I'm saying, one thing led to the other, and then we just start making tracks. Like it was normal, like it wasn't planned. It was just something we just fed off each other. So
Mhm.
then we made one track, two tracks, three, four, and then he was like, "Oh, maybe we should do an EP." I was like, "Nah, let's just continue." And then we made more tracks, and then we just made the album. We move independently, and that's from there it just started. And um, he's very what I like about him. He have can I say he's very thoughtful. I'm rushy sometimes. Like let's just put it out, and you know what I mean. And it's not always good
Mhm.
to do that way. You have to take your time, and so it's like many tracks that I've released in the past. I kind of not regret, but you know what I mean. I could do it better,
Yeah.
but you learn as you go. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is sometimes hard to find that balance because sometimes you can take too long as well, and you can overproduce.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You spoil
yeah.
you spoil the rawness of it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, 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 yeah. When you overdo it, it's not
yeah,
good either. You have to
yeah,
find that balance.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So I
good.
always, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to find that balance. And
Mhm.
but it's with Lifeline. What I like is it's fun to work with him. You know what I mean? It's fun to make tracks with him. We talk a lot about ideas and beats, and so over the time we've become good friends, kind of.
Mhm.
So it's not just music. We talk about other stuff besides it. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's cool.
You never know. Like any random conversation can lead to an idea about a song, so that's always good. I've talked with
Yeah,
other artists about do you know what I mean, the the good stuff you can get from knowing someone well. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. And
So
the
yeah.
thing with what I like about music is like you can meet people from all corners of life. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? If you have the same passion for something,
Hmm.
you connect in some way. So it's a beautiful thing. You meet a lot of good people, and I like it.
I've heard that before a couple of times, man. Yeah, that is how it
Yeah,
goes. I also want to ask about K9 London. The track
yeah.
Ready is out. It's out everywhere for people. That is the track that I'm
Yeah.
going to play after we finish speaking. Um,
Thank you, thank
Even
you.
though that's not the track that introduced me to you. Um,
Yeah.
that was signed, sealed, delivered. I love that track. But
Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
how did you get in touch with K9 London? Was that the same sort of thing on Instagram or?
Yeah, it was on Instagram. It was like before I met Lifeline. We started to talk, and
Okay.
so and I always liked his music because he was here actually here in Sweden with Black Twang
Oh,
once upon
okay.
a time. That was some years ago, and I saw them perform,
Mm-hmm.
and I always remember I liked him very much. And then when I saw him on Instagram, I just started to follow him, and then I saw he made beats because I thought he only rapped. So that's how it came about. So,
Hmm.
and I like him very much. I think he's a very underrated like artist in England.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Yeah.
All right. So let's get back to the beginning. Where does hip hop start for you? I mean, as a fan getting into it, who were the artists that you sort of, looked up to, who you sort of thought, this is the genre for me based on listening to their music?
Yeah. It was. I can say it was like in the beginning. It was a little bit Run DMC,
Hmm.
a little bit of like Fat Boys and these people because I started to break dance at first, and
Oh,
then the person that really made me want to rap was Big Daddy Kane. When I heard him, I was all blown away,
oh yeah.
and that's when I remember I used to be in my room and I listened to his record, and on the B side you could have he had the instrumental, so I rapped his lyrics and added like my own little words and stuff, and I thought I was real cool, and that's how I started. And like, no, I shouldn't copy people. I maybe should just write my own stuff. But I just rapped over other people's beats, and that's how it really started
Yeah.
for me. So and there's so many artists that I like besides Big Daddy Kane, like KRS-One is one of my big like heroes, and like you said, Method Man, the whole Wu Tang, Tribe Called Quest. Fife was one of my favorites, but he passed away. Sean Price,
Okay.
you know what I mean? So
Okay. Mm.
so
All right, man.
that's how I started out breakdancing at first, and then rap came a little bit later on.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Um, So, Sweden in general, what is the hip hop scene like there? I know you said there's a lot of young artists now rapping in Sweden. Are they doing
yeah.
the boom bap thing, or are they more doing the sort of trap, or maybe sort of more the UK style? I've never really heard anything from Sweden, so
Yeah,
what's it like there?
some some do boom bap,
Hmm.
but most of them they do like drill,
Mm,
kind of UK-ish stuff.
yeah.
kind of, but in Swedish. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So it's I mean, it have like about 10 or 15 of them that like it's drill or some UK kind of influence, and then you have like some of them do like original boom bap sound style of music. But then you have like legends like Loop Troop. They still doing music. You know what I mean? So they have been like all over, and so I mean, Swedish hip hop has gone from being a very small genre to being very big. Like the most played music on radio in Sweden is hip hop,
Oh,
but it's drill. Is not boom bap, but it's
mhm.
it's a form of hip hop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes sometimes some tracks I'm like I can scratch my head and wonder, is this really hip hop or is it going too much to another thing?
Mhm.
Sometimes,
Yeah,
but that's my personal thinking of it. But
yeah, yeah. I know what
and
you mean. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Getting back to you, how did you come up with the name Scoob Rock? And were there any other names before you settled on that one?
first it was Scoob because I'm kind of tall and when I was young I was kind of clumsy, so people always called me Scoob. And then I was like, Scoob is not so cool. So then I just added the rock to it. But that came later on. So that's how I came up with the name. It was friends and people just you're always all over the place. You have big feet and
All right. That's cool.
uh,
Okay. So,
yeah.
all right. So, like I said, We Ready is out. It's dope. I'm gonna play it after we spoke, like I said.
Yeah.
What else is coming up for you, man?
Uh, right now, I'm doing a track with Michael Parkinson.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm doing a track. That's the track that's coming out next. It's for my daughter, so it's called Your Song, and it will be coming out like in some weeks' time. So that's next. And me and Lifeline are working on another album again. So we have like about 6 or 7 tracks, but we would need to work some more. So maybe after summer that will come. So
All right.
so
Cool, man.
yeah, that's what's going on right now.
All right, man. Cool. Thank you for that. Yeah, I'll look out for that, man. I'm
Yeah,
a fan of Michael Parkinson as well, man. I like the stuff he does.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And he's a really hard worker, I suspect.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know him, but it seems like a really hard worker.
Yeah, he's one of them. I heard tracks that he'd featured on, and I heard some of his stuff, and I didn't actually know he produced, but I've been seeing a lot.
Yeah,
I've been seeing a lot of the tracks that he's produced on social media as well. So yeah, fan of
yeah.
his, man.
He's heavy. He has some nice beats. So
He does,
yeah,
yeah. So where can people
yeah.
find you and your music? Just let everyone know your socials and where they can go to find you.
Yeah, come on my Instagram as dash rock on Spotify, all streaming platforms, and we are gonna try to put out some physical CDs that we would be selling through our social media on Instagram, and whoever want a copy can just say so. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, man, the main one is Instagram, S dash rock,
yeah,
SDSHROCK. Go check him out
that's right.
there and all the stuff that he does with Lifeline, We Ready with Lifeline and K9 London is out. So yes,
Yeah,
hopefully speak again soon. But until then,
soon.
Brock, it's been very good to talk to you, man. Thank you for
You too, man.
yeah.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. Love, love.
All right.
We keep in
All right.
contact.
Yeah,
Peace,
man.
peace, peace. Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. Bye, bye,
Goodbye.
bye, bye.
We are Black Culture Radio. We are Black Culture Radio.
We are Black Culture Radio.